right? So coming to the tool, on opening you will see these two folders, test plan and workbench. So test plan folder is the where you actually start writing your tests. Okay, so whenever you execute it, by default picks the tests from test plan. So there is difference between these two folders. Workbench is kind of rough work. If you want to perform any rough work, you can do it here and then you can import it into test plan. So basically when I say rough work, it's about recording and playing back. You can record the things and place in a workbench and make a proper changes to it, configure it, and then go and cut that test from the workbench and paste it in test plan. Okay, so in that way you can do some manipulations at workbench, make the script ready, and you can go ahead and paste it in test plan. So but when you start running your script, the things which are in test plan only will come under execution, not in the workbench, right? So more about this we will be seeing when we start our first test case, right? So on default, whenever you create a new project, you will be seeing these two folders, right? And we will actually right click and say add, and from here we will get access to the Jmeter features, threads, test fragment, config element. These are different features we have with Jmeter to make our test case robust. Fine. So basically we will just record it and play back. But after recording, there are changes if you want to make. For example, if you want to data drive it from the Excel and put a thread sleep, you go with timer and config element for data driving and preprocessor. So before starting executing, if you want to modify any HTML links and parameters, okay, kind of it, and post processor. So after completing execution on the response result, if you want to modify anything, you will be using these assertions to make sure your script is working as expected. We will put an assertions and validate the test case result and listener. This is basically how you get the reports. So once the test execution is done, you can track the results, performance results here based upon our metrics what we are targeting for. Okay, these are different type of listeners available for us. So all these are a few Jmeter unique features with which we can complete our test case execution. Okay, so end-to-end test case execution with all the features. Okay, so that can be done just from this 7 elements. So these are the most building blocks for Jmeter. Okay, basically we say them as Jmeter components. These are different Jmeter components we have, and we'll be utilizing all of them for preparing test cases. Fine. So depth and detail about these we will be learning in our course step by step when I talk each and every component, right? So all these components make our load test case a robust one. And basically for recording, you can go to workbench, say right click add, then these are different elements you have with workbench. HTTP test script recorder, where you can basically record the things, and again these are the components which you see for test plan also. Well, you can start writing script here and make it proper changes, and then you can paste back it in test plan. Okay, this is like handy, this is like a rough work where you are actually performing, and then you are importing it into test plan for final run. Okay, so how to record and all we'll be seeing in the next lecture. So that's about these two components, right? So we will be adding test case under these two with the help of adding all these kind of features with Jmeter, right? So this is the one about this explorer pane, and if you come here, you can actually create a new test case by clicking on this, and you can save that, you can delete or cut. These are self-explanatory, right? If you move your mouse, you can understand. This is a basic UI which you seen for your Microsoft tools as well, and this is basically to run your script. So once the execution is done, you can start the script here, and if you want to delete the logs every time, if you want to clear them, you can use this. I'll show you where you can exactly get the report logs. Fine, and this is basically search kind of uses, and you can go for help by clicking on this link, right? So whenever if you are running some 10 tests, you can see track it here. If you see 10 by 10, that means 10 tests are completed. If you see 4 by 10, then it is 4 tests are completed, 6 more left. And if it is failed, you can see the count here. If out of 10 2 got failed, then it says 10 by 10, 10 scripts are executed and 2 got failed. Okay, that you can see it here. Fine. So that's about basic UI on front end, what you can see with Jmeter before we actually start the core concepts, right? So yeah, that's it, and we are good to start recording a test case and playing back. Okay, so we'll be starting that section now, and all the best for your Jmeter course. Thank you.